Hey trainers, and welcome to my first video in my YouTube Decidueye video series called the Night Owl Master Series, where I provide current and future Decidueye players some advice and tools needed to achieve a level of mastery with this champion. For those of you that are returning, welcome back, but if you're new here, welcome to the wild area. My name is Drake-san, and I am a top globally ranked Decidueye player with over 1,000 plus ranked games, and in those ranked games, a 60% win ratio in mostly solo to trio queues. Using gameplay reviews and my anecdotal experiences with the Pokemon, my hope for this series is to provide Decidueye players the needed advice to elevate their gameplay and become an even deadlier owl on the battlefield. On the first video of the series, I wanted to talk about how to maximize your damage with Decidueye. Firstly, this video is not about held items, it is not about emblems, no. This first video is about the fundamental framework of Decidueye and how your approach to how you play the champion can then maximize your baseline amount of damage that you're doing without all of the additives, right? From there, you can then build upon this framework by adding the held items, adding the emblems to further accentuate the percentage of damage that you're already doing with Decidueye. Today we're going to be talking about kiting and positioning to maximize the utility of Decidueye's passive ability, which we'll be talking about next. First though, let's define the word kiting because it's important. Kiting is a term commonly used in MOBAs to attack or damage an enemy champion while keeping your target at a safe distance away to prevent or at least limit the damage they're doing to you. In a way, you're also trying to control their positioning and relative distance from you through your own movements, similar to the activity of controlling or flying a kite from a distance away. In Pokemon Unite, some champions that take advantage of kiting include, of course, Decidueye, but some others include Cinderace, Gardevoir, Charizard, as you can see in this example, and using kiting to preserve or extend their longevity on the battlefield. Now, getting back to Decidueye, Decidueye's passive ability, Long Reach, is pretty simple fundamentally. The further away your target is, the more damage that you do to it, of course, within your attack radius. This applies to every type of attack Decidueye has, including its basics, primary attacking abilities, so Leafage as a Rowlet and a Dartrix, and then once you evolve to a Decidueye, Razor Leaf and Spirit Shackle, and then of course Knock Knock, Decidueye's Unite move 2. In another video, we're going to be talking about Decidueye's Unite move, so this video is mostly going to include examples from Decidueye's basics and using the primary attacking move Spirit Shackle. This video also won't include any Razor Leaf examples since these same principles for Decidueye's basics also apply to using Razor Leaf as well. In these first couple of short videos, we're going to take a look at some examples of optimal spacing and kiting while using Decidueye's basic attack. Decidueye's basic attack unfortunately is not the greatest, as it takes some time to reach the fastest attack speed or boosted attack speed, so any additional damage from Decidueye's passive can save you or secure you some clutch KOs in opportune moments. When the basic attack is activated, a ring around Decidueye appears to inform you of the basic attack's radius, and as long as you activate the basic attack whilst your target is in that ring, the leaves will track and damage the target even if your target leaves that radius shortly after. Rewinding this example once again, here I am damaging the Frogadier for the maximum amount of damage for both the basic attacks and the Leafage by positioning my fleeing opponent to the outermost radius of each of the moves. Optimal spacing with some lucky auto-targeting at the end in this example allowed me to ultimately get the KO on the enemy team's jungler at the 850 Bs. In this next video, I got a little bit greedy going for a stack as the team had already rotated to the top lane for Rotom. I got caught out this time by a fully evolved Greninja, and despite being a few levels lower than me, this should be an easy KO for most Greninja players. At this point, I recognized that my opponent mistakenly dashed through the barrier with their boosted basic attack and decided to create even more distance by moving away from the wall. In real time, this small adjustment may seem insignificant, but it might have given me the little extra damage I needed, enough to allow a quick holster arrow at the end to KO the Greninja so I can squeak away with only a pixel of HP, thus saving my life. Now let's talk about the exciting move, Spirit Shackle. Spirit Shackle damage also scales with distance too, hitting enemies with the furthest arrows dealing the most amount of damage. In this case here, since I've hit level 11, Spirit Shackle becomes Spirit Shackle Plus, dealing additional damage to low HP Pokemon, which is why the damage on the Venusaur is higher than the damage on the Gardevoir, but the damage on the Gardevoir is higher than the damage on the Serena, as an example of this damage increasing with further but non-low HP targets. In most cases, strive to charge your arrow for the longest distance for the highest damaging shots, as some arrows can even catch retreating opponents by surprise, as they might not even realize they're still being targeted as they flee. Also with Spirit Shackle, I think it's pretty self-intuitive that hitting multiple targets with an arrow feels pretty great. The one thing to assist you with that positioning is to always target backline Pokemon with the arrow's cursor while positioning Decidueye's body such that the arrow's flight path hits additional enemy Pokemon between you and that backline target Pokemon. Here's one example of me targeting a Decidueye and picking up an additional KO on the Serena, then another fun example demonstrating the sometimes questionable hitbox of a Spirit Shackle hitting targets quote-unquote behind Decidueye, but really just positioning Decidueye's body to confirm the KO on the Azu, but ultimately targeting the retreating Frogadier with Spirit Shackle's aim cursor. And finally, let's put both of these principles of kiting and positioning for arrow multi-hits into a single clip. In this last example, let's take a look at some kiting with Decidueye against a Serena in the first tier goal in the top lane. Serena is one of those characters that you, as a Decidueye player, need to be very careful of, since 2 dashes to close a distance on you will most likely spell a KO for you as well. If possible, always kite against highly mobile characters like Serena in a speed zone or on one of your goal zones. Generally, when kiting, you always want to make sure your movements are mirroring that of your target so that you can continue to position them towards the outside of your basic attack radius. After the Serena retreats, I quickly recognized the potential for a collateral shot, positioned myself to KO both the Serena and the Pikachu, and was able to get additional damage on the Lucario as well. Alrighty everyone, that is going to go ahead and wrap it up for my first video of the Night Owl Master Series. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and if you have any questions or comments about this sort of approach to playing this champion, please be sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below. As always, if you enjoy this type of Pokemon Unite content, please show your support by leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the YouTube channel to know when my next video for the series drops next. And if you want to meet me, you can also follow me on Twitch to know when I'm live streaming next. This video is also meant to be shared with other Decidueye players, so if you know any other owl enthusiasts, please be sure to share the video with them too. As always, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Till then.